The Cowboys have been killing it lately. 3 straight wins at the Eagles, at the Falcons, and at home versus Washington. This is great. They're going to win the NFC East, and then after that, who knows? Like, the playoffs are wild, man. This is the dream. I don't even care that Tyron Smith might not play or that there's still fundamental concerns that we should have to deal with this entire franchise. This is a time for celebration. The Cowboys are as hot as anyone in the NFC, other than the Rams or the Saints, who are both obviously superior. Now, let's see here. Who do the Cowboys play this week? Oh, damn it. Okay, so the Saints are one of the most dominant things we've seen in the NFL, like, ever. Their only loss was that 48-40 barn burner against the Bucs back in week 1, and nobody really knew what to do with that. Like, no one knew what the hell was going on. Since then, though, nothing but wins. Literally, just 10 in a row, ripped them off. They have the best point differential in football by 43 points, which, for some context, is insane here. The Chiefs, Rams, and Bears are plus 110, 107, and 106. The Saints are plus 153. You know how bad the Raiders are? They're minus 140. That's horrendous. And the Saints are more good than the Raiders are bad. The Cowboys are on a really nice run right now. Amari Cooper has helped, and they should legitimately win this division. But last week against the Falcons, Drew Brees threw 4 touchdowns. His touchdown passes were to Dan Arnold, Tommy Lee Lewis, Austin Carr, and Keith Kirkwood. I literally just said all of those names, and I've already completely forgotten about who any of them are. Michael Thomas was held to 38 yards and no touchdowns in that game, and Drew Brees just took 4 fans out of the stands and hit them for 4 scores. It's completely absurd. The running game kind of worked for the Saints last week. Like, Alvin Kamara went for 89 yards, Mark Ingram went for 52, so like that's good, but it doesn't justify the fact that Drew Brees only threw for 171. By all of those yardage numbers, you'd think that something horrible would happen to the Saints. And then entered the Saints defense. They forced 4 turnovers against Atlanta and held the Falcons to 17 points. Since week 4, the Saints have allowed more than 23 points of offense 1 time. That was against the Rams. Other than that game, 18, 19, 23, 20, 14, 7, 17. With that offense, it's not fair or funny or cool or anything. It's absurd. The Saints have broken football. Anyway, here's the good news. Home teams on Thursday Night Football are 8-2. The Eagles won at the Giants. The Broncos won at the Cardinals. Other than that, it's all home teams. And then 2 out of the 3 home teams won on Thanksgiving. So a super short week like that this year is giving the world a 10-3 record. The problem here, of course, is the Saints and Cowboys both played on Thanksgiving. So does this even matter? I don't know. But it's one of the few arguments at this point currently going in the Cowboys' favor. The matchup to watch here is pretty obvious. Ezekiel Elliott is good. The Cowboys usually win whenever he's consuming defenders, get him 25 or more touches, and he tends to go ahead and take over the game pretty well. The problem for the Cowboys, the Saints' run defense has been great this year. They average 73.2 yards allowed per game, and no running back has gotten 70 in a game against them. Now, part of that is a snowball effect. When the Saints stop the run early and then get up big on you, then what's the point in trying to run the ball anymore? But the Cowboys are going to have to give it a shot. In a league where you are statistically best off by having a strong passing game, the Cowboys' best player is their running back. So against the Saints, the Cowboys must score just about every time they get the ball, especially early, and they're probably going to have to do that through Zeke. Perhaps you hold out hope that the Cowboys will slow down the Saints' offense, but Washington scored 23 last week, and Colt McCoy is not under center this time around. Listen, the Cowboys' defense has been good. They allowed 20, 19, and 23 points in their last 3 games, and that's a fine pace in 2018. But the Saints have only been held under 30 points twice this year, both in games they ended up winning anyway. It's not a foregone conclusion for the Cowboys on Thursday night, but they have a very, very steep hill to climb. The good news? If they pull off the upset at home, we are going to have a very serious conversation about the best teams in the NFC and the Cowboys' place in it. I'm Joshua Briscoe, and this has been Know Your Opponent, only on Phantom.